Hi train friends, welcome to the Ozark Midland and Southern Railway. I'm Bill B. We're into the fall now, and I'm going to be getting an early start on one of my winter projects. The OM&S is going to have two small tunnels in the corners at the back of the layout. On any railroad, but particularly I think on a relatively small railroad such as the OM&S, real estate is scarce and valuable, so I want to make the most of the space I have. I want to make the tunnels special by giving them a more interesting and perhaps a more prototypical appearance, particularly their interiors. Years ago, I watched a series of videos produced by Siegel of Eric's Trains about making tunnels using geodesic foam, fiberglass screen, polymer casting resin, and rock molds. That series got my attention, and it's still available to view on YouTube if you go to this channel. So earlier, I used some of the geodesic foam to create the foundation for the embankment below the trackage on the bridge loop. I've now decided to pursue making this first tunnel, and perhaps the second as well, using the techniques described in Eric's tutorial. I'll leave a link to his tutorial in the description. I've already gotten started on the project, so if you're still with me, let's go down to the OM&S workshop and get busy. Okay, we're down in the workshop, and here's what we're going to be making today. These hard shell forms made out of the polyurethane foam material and our fiberglass screen. Once we get enough of these made, we'll set them down on the layout around our curve and form the basis for our tunnel. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. Right now we got some pieces to make. So I've got my plastic gloves on, and I would recommend you wear plastic gloves. You don't really want to get these chemicals on you. Once you've mixed them, you do not want to get the stuff on your hands or your clothes. So to get on your clothes, they're going to be ruined. You're not going to get it out. While the mixture is still it's not solid, you can wipe it off of your skin, for example, or a countertop with the mineral spirits. So let's go ahead and mix our chemicals, or polyurethane foam. Equal parts of part A and part B. Your little stir stick. You kind of want to mix it up good. Till it begins to turn a coffee with cream. Heavy cream, I'd say. Okay, I think we're ready now. There we go. Plenty. Okay, now we're going to smooth it out with our cardboard form. You got to be kind of careful. You don't want to put too much on, or you get it too thick, but you want it to be thick enough. It's just one of those kind of things you're going to have to experiment And I've still not necessarily got it down. You could look at my pieces and sort of tell that, in some cases I get on just about right, other cases not so much so. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. Okay, now I've got to let it sit for, I'd say 10 to 12 minutes. You don't want it to be tacky at all. You want it to still be flexible, but not tacky. Okay, our piece now I think is ready to take up. So we just got to kind of lift it up off the paper. Got to get underneath it. I think it's ready. Oop. Okay, there we go. Still a little tacky, but you see how flexible it is. And that's what we want. This is kind of what we call the smooth side. Just gonna trim it off real quick. This really is kind of a science. I haven't quite got it yet, but getting better as I go along, I think. Maybe by the time I'm done with the whole process, I'll have it down. You can see it's a little thicker here. It doesn't really matter if it's uneven. It's all going to work out. You're not going to see these pieces when we're done. They'll be hidden. You just want them to be structurally sound. And I want to work kind of fast here because it will start to harden. I want to get it in my form while it's still very flexible. Okay, so we bring our form over here. Like that. Go. Third one in here. Put 3 on each. I put 3 on each side. Kind of holds everything in place. Oop. Now I'm just going to trim off the tops. And I save these little pieces that I'm going to cut off here because you never know when they can come in handy. Okay, after this hardens, I'll take it out of the template, and I'll take this and these two here. We'll go out. I'll meet you out on the layout, and we'll begin to assemble our tunnel. Okay, now we're on the railroad. Actually, literally on the railroad. We're at the work site where our tunnel's going to be built. You can see I brought our little hard shell pieces, and I've kind of set them in place. They took a little bit of tweaking to actually kind of get them to all kind of fit how they're supposed to. Because I actually, between these two tunnel portals, I actually had to get my pieces to fit in there, so I had to kind of tweak them a little bit. The next step now, I've just got them sort of set in there. So what I've got to do now is I'm going to take each piece. I'm going to put a little hot glue on it, on the very edges, just so I can tack them down. I went ahead and tacked down using hot glue, a little hot glue gun. I tacked down the very edges of the hard shell pieces so they sort of stay in place now. So you see now that there's these gaps, and I'm going to fill these gaps in with some additional hard shell that I went ahead and made in kind of like this. And I'll use the hot glue gun, and I'll again just go over each one of them and tack those down with hot glue. And you'll find that this piece now will become much sturdier. And when I'm done filling in the gaps, ultimately I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, the whole thing up, after it's dried, got hardened, and I'll take it now then, and using our rock molds, we'll cast some rock castings that we're going to put inside our tunnel. It should be pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead I'm trying to save a little time here because I realized while I was in the workshop there after we kind of wrapped things up, and I was getting ready to come up here to the layout, that this video is taking a little longer than I expected. And so to try to save a little time, I went ahead and tacked the pieces down, and went ahead and made my hard shell here. And I'm going to go ahead and just real quickly show you kind of how this goes. You have to remember now, none of this is going to be seen. When this is all said and done, what we're doing right now will never be seen by anybody once we've got our hard shell pieces all put together. So get that right. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, trained friends, that is a wrap on part 1 of our tunnel building project. We got a lot done today. Please stay tuned for part 2, where we will endeavor to apply rock castings to our tunnel's interior. Until we meet again on the OM&S, take care. Bye now.